Shalom Akim, all praise goes to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Krakodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to Akim out there pushing this word, sincerity and honesty. I'm the brother Korah Allah, and through the spirit, I'm getting to a quick lesson. Now, I was reading about the kings of Israel, and of course, Jake always has to go off, but there's a certain story that was I read that reminded me of the so-called white man and why he has to be destroyed. So, without further notice, I'm gonna get right into it. This right here is First Kings, and I'll go straight to chapter 20, verse 2. And brothers could always, I know brothers know the story. Brothers could always read the story by themselves. It says, and he sent messengers to Ahab, king of Israel, into the city, and said unto this Shalak, this is 1 Kings 21, verse 2. And Ahab spoke unto Naboth, saying, give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. And Naboth said unto Ahab, the Lord forbid it me that I should give thee the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. So basically the king wanted the vineyard, all right, but Naboth said, listen, my father gave this to me. He said, I inherited it from my father. I can't give it to you, right? And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the words which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoke to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my father. And he laid down upon his bed and turned away his face and wouldn't eat no bread. It says, but Jezebel his wife, right? So this is Ahab's wife. But Jezebel his wife came to him and said unto him, why is thy spirit so bad that thou eatest no bread? And basically, we told the situation. And I'm gonna jump to verse 7. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. Okay, so now his wife said, listen, I'll get you the land that you want so bad. So it says, so she wrote the letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with the seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in the city dwelling with Naboth. All right. So the woman is getting involved. It says, and she wrote it in the letter, saying, proclaim a fast and set Naboth in high among the people, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him, and bear witness against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme against the Most High and the king, and then carrying him out and stone him that he may die. So she created false witness, which that's against the scriptures, man. You're not supposed to claim false witness against a brother. Okay, so they did that. They proclaimed it fast. Verse 12. I'm jumping to 12. Verse 13. And they came in 2 men, children of Belial, and set before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme the Most High and the king. And they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones that he died. All right. So Naboth died for his piece of land, but he died unjustly, and he died by the hands of the hands of Ahab and his wife Jezreel, because his wife wrote these letters in the name of the king, which is king of the times, Ahab. All right. So, and now I'm jump down. It jumps down and says, verse 19. Verse 18, arise, go down. So verse 18, arise, go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel. Verse 17. And the words of the Lord came to Elijah, the Tishbite, saying, arise, go down to meet Ahab. Elijah the prophet. Go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he is gone down to possess it. So he wants to go possess that land, right? Which basically got that land by bloodshed. It says, and thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, in the place where dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall dogs lick thy blood, even thine. And Ahab said, Elijah, hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I have found thee, because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord. Right. So basically, Elijah said, listen, because you dealt wickedly with a righteous man, okay, listen, you're going to be destroyed, because you killed the man, you murdered a man for his land. You're going to die for that. You're going to die for that land also. And it says, because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord. Behold, I will, verse 21, behold, I will bring evil unto thee, and will take away thy posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam, the house of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, the son of Ahijah. For the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger, and made Israel to sin. And of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, the dogs shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. Him that dieth of Ahab in the city, dogs shall eat. It says, and him that dieth in the fields shall the fowls of the air eat. It says, but there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, from whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. All right. So nonetheless, his wife did stir it up, but nonetheless, he was with it. Which that reminds me of Adam and Eve. So it says, verse 26, and he did very abominably in following idols, according to. And it came to pass, verse 27, and it came to pass, when Ahab heard those words, that he rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his flesh, and fasted, and laid a sackcloth, and went softly. So here's the point right here I'm making. All the things that all the things the king did, Ahab, in the end, when he heard his judgment, he repented. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, seest thou how Ahab humbled himself before me? Because he humbleth himself before me, I will not bring the evil in his days, but in his son's days will I bring the evil upon his house. So the point is, Ahab done wickedly in the sight of the Lord. All right, well, she's an Israelite, by the way. He done wickedly in the sight of the Lord, but the Lord turned around and had mercy on him. All right, because he humbled himself and repented. Now, this is something the so-called white man would not do. All right, I bring this up to go into the so-called white man. This is something the so-called white man would not do. Now, real quick, and let me see, man. me see something real quick if I get a quick precept. Yeah, this is Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. Right? Because that's what Ahab done. He polluted the land because he killed, or he murdered, all right? And he got that land deceitfully. Okay? For blood it defileth the land, and that land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it, in which Ahab had to die for that land, all right, to cleanse it, because he was the one that caused that land, to be unclean, because he killed for it. But listen, the Lord have mercy on him because he humbled himself. Okay, now how did the so-called white man get America? All right, bloodshed. Okay, look at the history of Native Americans, the Seminole Indians and Mexicans. All right, look at the history of the so-called white man: rape, rob, murder. All right, lies. All right. So now I'm gonna get this last script, and I'm ending on that. I believe it's Book of Revelations, chapter 16. I'm gonna jump down to verse 10, and it says, "And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the sea of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness," which the beast is going into NATO and EU. All right, basically the kingdom of Esau. All right, and they gnawed their tongues for pain, right? Because the Lord's gonna come down, destroy this place, destroy, starting with America, okay, mainly America, but the Lord's gonna destroy Esau's kingdom. All right, and it says, and blaspheme. It says, and they gnawed their tongues for pain, and blasphemed the Most High of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not for their deeds. So here it is. After while they're feeling pain, while their kingdom is being destroyed, they still blaspheme the Heavenly Father, man. All right, they blasphemed, they cursed out the Heavenly Father, okay, and repented not for their deeds, okay, for the things they've done, all the wickedness that they've done. They didn't repent for not one thing they've done, man. So the Esau is not a humble man, but this right here goes into the pride of the so-called white man. All right, and we know what the scriptures say about pride. It goes up before a fall, okay, and that fall is coming down on Esau. All right, so that was just a quick lesson. Lord, brothers edified. The Spirit's on me to bring that out. So with that, I'm gonna say all praise goes to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Kakwadash, and double honor to the apostles and the elders, great millstone, and shalom to the Akhmat. They push this word in sincerity and honesty. Shalom.